Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to my channel Football Fantasy, and we are back after almost 2 weeks. In fact, the Premier League is back, club football is back after 2 weeks. We had a long international break, and the Premier League games had stood still because of an unfortunate incident in England. But then, yes, we are about to resume tomorrow, and exciting week है, बड़े एक्साइटिंग गेम्स है, लंदन डार्बी, मैनचेस्टर डार्बी, एक्शन पैक वीकेंड होने वाला है। तो उन सब के बारे में बात करने वाले प्रशांत इज सून गोइंग टू जॉइन अस। तो फन डबल होने वाला है। एंड एमशे सेज गेस हु इज बैक। यस, वी आर बैक अगेन। एमशे भाई, मिस्ड यू अ लॉट। तो आज बात करेंगे फुटबॉल के बारे में जम के। तो गाइस, सबसे पहले मेक श्योर कि आप वीडियो को लाइक करें, आपको अगर वीडियो पसंद आए तो subscribe to our channel and let me know your opinions on the upcoming games in the comment section. तो भाई डिस्कशन शुरू करते हैं। एम says हेलो हेलो भाई, कैसे हो आफ्टर 2 weeks? कैसा चल रहा है? आई सॉ यू इन दैट लीड्स मैन यूनाइटेड गेम। क्या भाई, मैच ही नहीं हुआ, मेरा वीजा भी नहीं आया, तो couldn't go। अगर वीजा आ भी जाता तो आई थिंक मैच नहीं देख पाता क्योंकि मैच कैंसिल हो गया। सो बट यस, अनफॉर्चुनेटली, oh wait, yes, yes. Oh wait, the match got cancelled. ठीक है, not if not this time, next time definitely. You know, like opportunity मिलेगा and I will be there at Old Trafford. But yes, anyways, let's talk about the games at the weekend. The first game between Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur. Exciting game, two brilliant managers. Mikel Arteta, you got to give him the credit after what he's done at Arsenal, the achievement. Yes, it took time for the players to adapt and got get to know his style, but now it's coming all together and they are doing pretty decently. They are on sitting on top with Manchester City in the Premier League table. They've just lost one game this season to Manchester United. Apart from that, they look fantastic. And again, tomorrow is a big, big challenge against Antonio Conte Spurs, who are fantastic, equally good. They've got a brilliant manager, brilliant set of players. 2 weeks का ब्रेक फेल्ट सो लॉन्ग। एब्सोल्युटली भाई, ये इंटरनेशनल गेम्स बहुत बोरिंग होते हैं। फालतू की नेशंस लीग लगा रखी है। मुझे तो ये फ्रेंडली से भी बदतर लगते हैं नेशंस लीग। पता नहीं क्यों खेलते हैं, टाइम पास करने के लिए खेलते हैं यार। बहुत बोर हो जाता है इंटरनेशनल गेम्स देख के कभी कभी। एट टाइम से लगता है यार, क्या फ्रेंडली गेम देख रहे हैं, ना कोई पैशन है ना कोई स्पिरिट है। हाँ, वर्ल्ड कप की बात अलग होती है, वर्ल्ड कप इज वर्ल्ड कप, बट ये जो इंटरनेशनल फ्रेंडली गेम्स होते हैं भाई, दिमाग का दही हो जाता है। फील्स लाइक अ मंथ, एक्चुअली फील्स लाइक अ मंथ, बिकॉज यूनाइटेड जो टीम मैं सपोर्ट करता हूँ उन्होंने एक महीना तक खेले नहीं है। 2 weeks इंटरनेशनल ब्रेक था, उसके पहले उनके दो गेम्स वर कॉल्ड ऑफ बिकॉज ऑफ द डेथ ऑफ क्वीन एंड अनफॉर्चुनेट इंसिडेंट। तो ये आप यूनाइटेड का तो एक महीना हो गया है गेम को। और ऑफ कोर्स अदर क्लब्स है, तो 2 weeks इंटरनेशनल ब्रेक था। और एक वीक भी ना तुम मैच क्लब फुटबॉल ना देखो तो कुछ हो जाता है। वी ऑल नो हाउ इट फील्स ड्यूरिंग द समर ब्रेक जो होता है। यू नो मैचेस नहीं होते बट ट्रांसफर न्यूज गॉसिप आते रहते हैं, सो दैट कीप्स अस एक्साइटेड। बट यार, ये 2 week तो बहुत ही बोरिंग थे। एंड आई एम होप कि कल जो मैचेस हो बहुत फैंटास्टिक हो, नॉट जस्ट दी लंदन डार्बी, दूसरे गेम्स है वो भी बहुत ही एक्साइटिंग हो। तो यार बात करते हैं लंदन डार्बी के बारे में। बहुत ही important गेम है दोनों क्लब्स के लिए। दे बोथ द क्लब्स आर इन रियली गुड फॉर्म एंड नो आर्सेनल आर ऑन टॉप ऑफ द लीग एंड स्पर्स आर नॉट बिहाइंड थ्री, थर्ड पोजीशन पे है। पॉइंट डिफरेंस सिर्फ वन का, एक पॉइंट का डिफरेंस है, सो एनीथिंग कैन हैपन। व्हाट स्टैंड्स इन आर्सेनल्स फेवर इज दे प्लेइंग एट होम एंड एमिरेट्स स्टेडियम उनका होम क्राउड होगा उनको चेयर करने के लिए। एंड यू नो after 2 long weeks का ब्रेक है, तो lot of players will be rusty, may not have the game fitness, match fitness, कुछ players का नहीं होगा and we expect them to have, so anything can happen, game can, the match can go on any side, but yes, बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग सा सिचुएशन होगा क्योंकि दोनों टीम बेहतरीन फॉर्म में है। एंड नो दोनों मैनेजर्स के अपने अपने टैक्टिक्स से, अपने अपने स्टाइल ऑफ प्ले है। तो लेट्स सी हु कम्स ऑन टॉप। माई I will go with Arsenal here because simply because they're playing at Emirates, but it won't be an easy win for Arsenal. It'll either be 2-1 to Arsenal or at the max overall draw होगा। But win for Spurs looks highly unlikely unless they Antonio Conte pulls the masterclass, which he can do. We all know how good he is. तो यार देखते हैं क्या होता है। बट एमसी भाई बोल रहे हैं आर्सेनल विल विन, मुझे भी यही लगता है भाई। आर्सेनल का चांसेस ज्यादा है। एमिरेट्स में खेल रहे हैं और उनका फॉर्म ऑफ कोर्स यूनाइटेड के सामने हार गए थे, बट इफ यू कीप दैट गेम आउटसाइड, अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट द अदर गेम दे आर फैंटास्टिक, द काइंड ऑफ फुटबॉल दे आर प्लेइंग, अट्रैक्टिव फुटबॉल, गोल्स पे गोल्स मार रहे हैं, एंड दे आर गोइंग टू टू विद मैनचेस्टर सिटी इन टर्म्स ऑफ पॉइंट्स. So anything can happen, and I'm looking as a neutral fan perspective. I'm looking for a fantastic game. बहुत ही मजा आएगा देखने के लिए. दोनों सेट ऑफ मैनेजर्स के अलग अलग स्टाइल ऑफ प्ले है. लेट्स सी हू कम्स ऑन टॉप. और बहुत ही टैक्टिकली कौन बेहतरीन है ये कल मालूम पड़ जाएगा, एंड दैट विल डिसाइड द आउटकम ऑफ दैट गेम विद 3 पॉइंट. ड्रिपिनाल्डो स्टिल इन परदेश. हाँ भाई, कि शायद और 10-15 दिन वो परदेश में ही है. तो लेट्स सी, ही विल जॉइन इन कपल ऑफ वीडियोस बाद में, कपल ऑफ वीक्स के बाद में. बट यस, नो देखते हैं कब ज्वाइन करते हैं. उसके बादशाह बादशाह की टीम के भी कल मैच है. तो दे आर, उनके ट्रांसफर रूमर्स तो बढ़ते जा रहे हैं, एंड आई थिंक इन कपल ऑफ वीक्स हमको सुपर लीग के बारे में पता चलेगा. व्हाट आई एम हियरिंग इज, if the Super League goes through, Barca will get around 700 million euros by the end of this year or beginning of next year. So that's what I'm hearing. So, of course, I don't like Super League. A lot of fans don't like Super League, but from financial perspective, clubs like Barcelona, Juventus, उनके लिए बहुत ही अच्छा होगा, and they will improve the finances. Overall, as a fan, I don't want Super League. I've stated my reasons in the past, पिछले videos में. If you go back and check my videos, I don't like Super League, and majority of the 90% of the fan base is against it. But again, anything can happen. और आज हम बात जरूर करने वाले हैं जो ऑल स्टार प्रपोजल हुआ है बिटवीन ला लीगा 11 वर्सेस प्रीमियर लीग 11 वर्सेस बुंडेसलीगा 11. मुझे तो ये एकदम वाहियात आइडिया लगता है. So let me know in the comment section, how do you feel about that? We are going to talk about that in the later part of the video once Prashant comes in. But yes, London Derby, my predictions 2-1, and Gabriel Jesus is the man for Arsenal. ब्रेंडन श्रद्धांजलि स्ट्रीम एल्बो. हाँ भाई, ब्रेंडन रॉजर्स. भाई हम अभी तक तो दो दो श्रद्धांजलि हो चुकी है. आई थिंक एक तो हमारे प्यारे टॉमस टुचेल भाई की हो चुकी है, एंड द अदर बोर्नमाउथ के मैनेजर उनका भी हो चुका है. तो नेक्स्ट हु इज ऑन क्यू, देखना बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग होगा कि अगली श्रद्धांजलि किसकी होती है. बट यस, Premier League is getting tough. It's getting excited. No games, no longer all the games are easy. Every team is ready to battle out. Teams like West Ham, Newcastle, Leeds United have changed the perspective completely. Even Wolves are giving you run for the money. So again, it is no longer league wherein the top four, top six, dominate. It's become very unpredictable. It was actually unpredictable before, but it's now more and more unpredictable. Any team can surprise any team because they have all the tools, the finances are there. Some teams have good managers who can, get a result out of the team. So बहुत ही exciting हो चुका है ये प्रीमियर लीग. और कल बहुत सारे गेम्स हैं. पैलेस चेल्सी है. MC is telling, I sometimes think Barca will slide down to Europa. नहीं भाई, I don't think so. They've got fantastic players. Xavi is good. The players follow his ideology, and from what I've seen in the starting of this season, they have been brilliant, fantastic. बहुत ही superb रहे. And maybe they will not be Champions League winner this year, but yes, I think they will give Real Madrid a run for the money in the La Liga. It won't be all that easy for Real Madrid to win the La Liga like they won last year. So anything can happen. It all depends on how Xavi utilizes his players. Yes, there are injury concerns, but I think they have enough backup. They've signed really good players this season, and I think they will go toe to toe with Real Madrid this season. That's my opinion on Barcelona. मैनचेस्टर डार्बी भी तो है ना. हाँ 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 भाई, है ना मैनचेस्टर डार्बी भाई. डोंट काउंट यूनाइटेड आउट. Now, I'm not saying United will win the game. Of course, City are favorites to win that game. The kind of football they play over the years, Pep has built a brilliant team. His ideology is fantastic. The kind of football they play, they don't just win games. They win games with pride. मतलब छाती चौड़ा करके जीतते हैं. 3-3 गोल ठोकते हैं, और जिस तरह से केविन डे ब्रुयने और अर्लिंग हालैंड खेल रहे हैं, they look unstoppable. So United have a big task ahead of them. But yes, they did have big task before as well against Liverpool and Arsenal, and they came out on top. This is a, you can say, like an acid test. सबसे टेस्ट का टेस्ट, सबसे महा टेस्ट हो सकता है ये. But if United come out on top, on Sunday, then maybe I'll say yeah, top 4 का chances है थोड़ा. Good job so far after the couple of losses, but then still a long way to go. I think it will be competitive. Yes, MC Bhai, even I think it will be competitive. अच्छा battle होगा, and I'm going to come to Manchester Derby very soon. We're going to talk about interesting battles, that you will see on the pitch, and how some people think it will be a one-sided game, and my opinion also is pretty slightly different from some of the pundits, because I just don't count out players depending on the physicality or height. We've seen in the past players have proven the pundits wrong, but still, some English pundits have a very bad habit of criticizing or you know underestimating some of the really good hard-working players. So we're going to talk about that. And MCA says either City 3-1 और यूनाइटेड विल स्कैम 1-0 भाई स्कैम कौन से एंगल से तू अगर बोल रहा है कि ये काउंटर अटैकिंग खेलेगी तो ठीक है ना भाई रिजल्ट एज लॉन्ग एज आता है अगर हिस्टोरिकली इफ यू लुक एट बैक एट लास्ट 8 games played at Etihad, last 8 Manchester derbies at Etihad, United have won 5 of them. One has gone in a draw, and they have just lost two. So United recent record at Etihad has been fantastic. Out of the last 8 games, they won 5 games under Louis Van Gaal, under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Somehow they managed to come up with a plan to stop Pep Guardiola's Man City. And tomorrow, sorry, on Sunday, it's against Erik Ten Hag squad who's tactically better than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and I think he will come up with a plan. But you will see City dominating the possession, and United will look to it the break, look to score in transition. Players like Eriksen will be very very important, especially Eriksen and Fernandes will be important, providing those crucial passes, those through balls to Rashford and Sancho. United will look to utilize the space of Sancho and Rashford, and that's what they will highly depend on. CR7 starts advantage City. CR37 starts advantage City. नहीं भाई, don't count Ronaldo out. Whenever people count him out, he comes back and scores goals. He proves everyone wrong. So this might be the right game for Ronaldo. I'm pretty sure he will start because Rashford and Martial, although they are back, not fully fit. Match fit नहीं है कि उन start कर सके. We will see both of them in action, but I think it will be a front three of Anthony, Sancho, and Ronaldo. These three players will start, and then you'll get to see Rashford and Martial come from the bench and make that kind of you know give United a boost if they need. But for me, I think right now Ronaldo, Sancho, and Anthony will be the top front three, and then you'll see McTominay, Eriksen, and Fernandes in the midfield. People will Eric Ten Hag will be tempted to start Casemiro ahead of McTominay because of his influence as a proper defensive midfielder. He is an out-and-out defensive midfielder. He will run right in the midfield physically. He's that strong, and he's someone who can stop Kevin De Bruyne supplying those passes through uh, our Erling Haaland. So again, very important that Eric Ten Hag picks the right spot he believes in, not what I believe, not what you believe. If he thinks McTominay is going to be the player who will make difference and stop Kevin De Bruyne, now there has to be McTominay. It has to be what Ten Hag is confident and what Ten Hag believes in. And we have Prashant here, who is Prashant. How do you feel after a long time?
Yeah. It's been such a long time. Yes. Well, it was the international break anyway, so not much that we have missed out. But obviously, we have a lot to look forward to in terms of the weekend again. So it's good to be back. Good to be back at our viewers as well. How have you been,
Absolutely.
Sylvia?
I'm brilliant, brilliant. I had a wonderful, travel trip, and then I've come back, and tomorrow the Premier League starts after 2 weeks, and the biggest thing is United have not played for 4 weeks. 4 weeks without watching Manchester United, seems something is not right. And tomorrow,
Yeah.
of course, not the Manchester derby, it's on Sunday, but then again tomorrow football is back. That's more, it's very important. And Agrim is here. Agrim says hi guys, hi Agrim,
Yeah.
bhai, कैसे हो?
Hi, Kareem. Mhm.
Don
Well,
Prashant. I'm sure
Don
this is Don
Prashant.
Prashant.
Hey, Amshay. How are you?
Hello, sir.
Hello,
Dripinaldo
sir.
the third.
Ronaldo the third. Arre.
Good one, good
Lisandro
one.
is not in today on the podcast, but we hope to have him back again soon.
यस 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 सस्पेंशन है ड्रिपिनाल्डो का सस्पेंशन नहीं बोल सकते पर्सनल
Uh,
ब्रेक लिया है बट यस ही विल बी
uh,
बैक सून एंड यस तो प्रशांत we spoke about the London derby, you know, Arteta versus
mhm.
Conte.
Yeah.
I was talking about the Manchester derby right now. So before I jump back to the Manchester derby, quickly want to get your thoughts on the London derby between Arsenal and Spurs. It's going to be played at Emirates. Arteta versus Conte. Who do you think will come out on top?
Well, I have been reading a lot of articles about it of late, to be honest. And, you know, obviously the London Derby is something which they play up a lot, right? Like it gets a lot of coverage. So even this for this particular derby, I have been seeing them write articles like this is going to be the closest London derby in years or decades and so on and so forth. So they're having a lot of articles in that ilk, and I think it would not. Personally, I feel Conte is a way better manager than Arteta. Like if you purely go by what is on paper, Conte is a much better manager. I also think that the Spurs first 11, at least the starting 11, is better on paper, at least, than the Arsenal 11. Like, I mean, the Arsenal, we know, even last season, they were more like the Arsenal we have always known. Although they were much better last season towards the end, even right now, they are getting into the groove, yes. But are they like the finished article? No. But in Tottenham, we know that they have players like Kane, they have Son, they have guys like Perisic who's on loan there, they have Kulusevski. These guys are the proper finished article. We can say that, yes. And of course, players like Kane and Son, they even have the Champions League experience and so on and so forth. Conte has the experience of winning a Premier League. He has the experience of winning a Serie A. He has the experience of being in a final of a Euros tournament. Does Arteta have all of that?
Yeah, but on a given day, if you come up with a plan, we've seen a manager like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, get the better of someone like Pep Guardiola. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Arteta, he's taken time. He's taken his time. He's got his players, and they are not just playing, you know, a football where they're just winning games. They are winning with 3, 4 goals. They are banging in goals. Gabriel Jesus, Martinelli, Saka, they've all been in fantastic form. The defense has been brilliant. Odegaard again, one of the fantastic players. So overall, the start of season has been good except the United game. जहाँ पे the things went wrong. So I am hoping the Arsenal that I've seen in the first 3 games, I get to see the same Arsenal because as a neutral fan, you get to enjoy the game that football game. But again, like I've always said, never count Antonio Conte out. He will always come up with a master plan. As much as I think
So
that Arsenal are favorites to win the game, but you never count someone like Antonio Conte. He is a
So
mastermind.
let me tell you something, Divya. See, again, whatever you have told is not incorrect, right? But then my point is, Conte, when he took charge of Spurs last season, there was no chance of them. No one was even expecting them to make it to top four. They ended up in
Correct.
the top four. So you imagine the effect he has had, like, has been way more. I'm not saying Arteta is a bad manager. I'm not even saying that Arsenal are a bad team by any
Mhm.
by any stretch. But the point is that Conte is just simply better, and it might even be a close game because emotions will run high, passions will be running high as well. So uh, both teams will be putting in their all for sure. But at the same time, Conte will have the edge, in my opinion, at least. So yeah, and. Okay, MK says, Dua Lipa dating someone agreed by in London for so long. Coincidence? I think not. Bhai,
अभी
I
बोलना पड़ेगा
cannot
दुआ लिपा भाभी
comment
बोलना
on that.
पड़ेगा अभी
Uh, Dua Bhabi. Dua Bhabi. अग्रीम भाई दुआ में याद रखना. Uh, yeah. Anyway, coming back to the topic, speaking of Dua, Manchester Derby is also happening, और यूनाइटेड को दुआ की जरूरत है. Yes. दवा की भी
Yeah,
जरूरत है बट दवा की भी जरूरत है.
yes. Talking about
So,
Manchester Derby, so
mm,
body, people say that City are favorites, and I completely agree to that. Manchester City are favorites to win that game, but we've seen in the past against Liverpool, Liverpool were favorites to win against United. Against Arsenal, Arsenal were favorite to win the game. But yet, United came on top against those two teams. And like I was speaking earlier about the acid test that this is if United win this game, then it will be very clear that United are in the contention for top four. But what I will see on Sunday is a United squad was not played for 1 month. They don't have Rashford and Marshall fully fit. Yes, they're back in training today, but then I don't think they will start. Two very important players. You will see a front three of Sancho, Ronaldo, and Anthony. But again, very important decisions Eric Ten Hag will have to make in the midfield. It's going to be either McTominay, who has been fantastic this season, or it will be Casemiro, who will be chosen to start against Kevin De Bruyne to cover him. Uh, एमसीए से अग्रिम भाई के नवरात्रि में फाल्गुनी पाठक के गाने दुआ लिपा गाती है.
oh, भाई अग्रिम भाई का ग्रिप है, ग्रिप मार दो. So anyway, so coming back to your point about the
Hmm.
Manchester Derby,
Hmm.
yeah. So
Hmm.
I think, as you mentioned earlier
Hmm.
during the Arsenal discussion, that
Hmm.
even Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was able to get the better of Pep Guardiola on a given game.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
here's the difference. Just one difference here was that, uh, like, he has had quality players.
Hmm.
Even Ole
Hmm.
has quality players like Pogba, Sancho, Rashford, Martial at her disposal, and they were the ones, you know, who kind of digged in and contributed during those matches. So Ten Hag right now actually has a slightly better squad in terms of the quality. Uh, I mean, they are not big players, but in terms of the running and the uh, pressing ability and the energy, right? That is something that this squad can provide. Of course, if Ronaldo starts, that will go down a notch. But then again, he has
Hmm.
players who can run now. He has players who can
Hmm.
press. But overall, Ten Hag, being the smart manager that he knows that this squad is only suited to the Jose Mourinho, Van Gaal, and Solskjaer style. So that is why, like, although United are playing much better, they are not looking lost in games or anything as such. Like the game against Liverpool or Arsenal, they played well. They did not like they didn't look like they were just hoping to get a chance and just score off it. That was not the case. But then again, against City, I doubt it would. I don't know how it would go, but he will have to revert to that strategy of counter attacking, and that's the only way that United can play. And well, I mean, being Pep Guardiola, he's not going to go ahead and change his style of play. He will go ahead and play his natural game. He is not going to change his style. So maybe it would actually end up working for him as well. So who knows? I do think that they will be also looking to play on the counter attack. What do you think, Divya?
Yeah, MCA says ball classico,
Ball classic.
which
Yeah,
is absolutely correct.
yeah,
The ball
yeah. And
classico,
remember,
the
Divya,
battle of
we've been
bodies.
saying, yeah. So we've been saying this that we will be having not two actually. I'm sure we will be having three bodies. We have Ten Hag, we have Michel Van der Gaal, that is assistant,
The
and Pep
assistant coach.
Guardiola. Yeah, exactly. So all three of them, if they stand together, we may not be able to recognize. It'll be like a challenge. Recognize, spot Pep, spot Ten Hag.
What the fuck? I forgot that United signed Casemiro, Ericsson, and Martinez. Yes, yes. Interesting point. I was going to come to that. Erling Haaland versus Lisandro Martinez. Both the players have played against each other in the past, and I think Prashant team is stuck and he's not able to hear him. So, all right. So, by the time Prashant comes back, let's quickly. talk about Martinez versus Haaland. Uh, Previously, when Ajax played Dortmund, Martinez won the battle. Not only did Ajax keep a clean sheet, they went on to score 3 goals, and the Ajax was managed by Erik ten Hag. Again, playing for City, Erling
Can
Haaland will be
anyone
a
hear me?
different one.
Hello?
Now I can hear you, Prashant. It is better, but I still can't see your face. Your stream is stuck. It's better now. Now I can see. Better now, Prashant.
Okay. Uh, yeah, so I apologize. I don't know what happened there, but
Uh-huh. No problem.
I just noticed that.
It always happens. It happens to all of us. Internet connections are not stable everywhere. So happens to me, happens to you, no problem. I think you're stuck again, Prashant.
Back to Wi-Fi. So I'm facing these issues. I really apologize. There's nothing wrong
It's
with the
okay, no
network as
problem.
such, but
No
I
problem.
apologize. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, so I was talking
Yeah.
about Lisandro Martinez and Erling Haaland. The previous time these two played against each other when Ajax met Dortmund in the Champions League. Lisandro Martinez came on
Mm.
top. Not only did he keep a clean sheet, Ajax went on to score 3 goals against Dortmund. And Erik ten Hag was the manager. Situation is different, scenario is different, teams are different, and most importantly, Erling Haaland did not have a Kevin De Bruyne at Dortmund to supply in those goals. So, who do you think will come out on top? What is the strategy? And although physically Erling Haaland may be much taller, much stronger than Lisandro Martinez, but we've seen in the past how good Martinez is. With his aggressive tackles and smart play and the way he intercepts the ball, how good he is. We all know about that. So, do you think Martinez has a chance, or again, or you think that this time Haaland will end up scoring goals?
Um, okay, so firstly, again, here with regards to this battle, also there has been a lot of build-up in the press. Everyone has been like the battle of they're saying David versus Goliath, Martinez versus Haaland. I
David
mean,
versus Goliath. David won that battle.
yeah, exactly. David won that battle. Now the thing is, obviously, it's a very obvious advantage that Haaland will have. He's like about 5 inches taller than Martinez. But remember one thing that Martinez is the way they are pointing it out is like Martinez is 5 feet. He's not 5 feet. He's 5'9". So
Yeah.
uh, I mean, he's uh, he may be the shortest defender in the Premier League as per the stats and so on, but I don't really think that matters. I think his other attributes, his aerial ability and his pace and positioning and all of that, all those attributes are the ones which will be more important. And again, he has experience handling Haaland, so it will be interesting for me to see how he copes up with him. Again, so there are 2 points here. Firstly, who starts in the midfield, if it's McTominay or Casemiro, and whoever will. Okay, thanks for the comment. I'll just continue. I'll just continue speaking. I'll just stick to the topic for the moment. We'll come back to the topic to your comments later. Anyway, so coming back to the point, uh, yeah, and he's like, "Yo, 5 inches big. We don't do that to me." It's huge, but in terms of physicality, yeah, if we are no longer in a Premier League, which is hardly, hardcore physicality based, right? So there are other skills now which come into picture, and Martinez has that experience of handling Haaland, so he might be able to do it again. Second thing which I was pointing to is that who starts in United Messi, uh, McTominay or Casemiro, and how they are able to handle De Bruyne. If they are able to suppress the midfield and the supply coming to Haaland, we'll have to see. I mean, it will be interesting to see how Haaland uh, reacts and adapts in that situation. And of course, if as and when Haaland does receive balls, I think Martinez, you know, it will also be something which Martinez will have to give his best for, simply because he's a deadly striker. And apparently, as he has come to City, he's already scored a hat trick. So, he is in a fiery form.
11 goals. Already 11 goals already.
So uh, he has to be at his best. So again, Ten Hag, Martinez, they know that how to blunt Haaland's attack. So let's see. That would be an interesting battle for sure.
And people keep on forgetting it's not just Lisandro Martinez. We got Rafael Varane at the back, who will be who's got pace, who's got a tackle in him. He reads the game fantastic. One of the top defenders in the world. And Haaland doesn't have just to face Martinez. He has to face Rafael Varane as well. So there'll be switch of tactics, and whatever Rafael Varane goes and covers, Erling Haaland makes it life difficult. It won't be easy. And especially if Casemiro starts and Casemiro's focus will be to stop De Bruyne, it won't be all that easy for City. So again, very interesting to see what plans Erik Ten Hag has. What is the starting lineup? I am expecting McTominay to start, considering the form he's been. He's been fantastic this season. A player with most number of fouls this season, and overall his play has been brilliant under Erik Ten Hag. He's improved a lot, and he's shown us the character. We've spoken about the passion merchant he was, but then along with passion, he displayed his skills as well. So I think very important to see who starts McTominay or Casemiro, and will they be able to do the job of stopping Kevin De Bruyne is the most important thing. But yes, all I can say is it won't be a cakewalk for City. Even if we end up winning this game, it will be a difficult one. United will come out, all guns blazing. They will make sure City life is not made all that easy. The goals will they'll have to earn those goals. And like I said, the most important thing is what Erik Ten Hag's starting lineup is. I'm sure Christian Eriksen will start. He will be the most important player on the pitch for United. But again, who starts front three? Does he take a gamble of starting Rashford ahead of Ronaldo? Who is not completely match fit. And similarly at the back, does he start Luke Shaw or does he keep Tyrell Malacia, who's been fantastic in this season? So again, very important decisions for Erik Ten Hag to make, and I think that will determine the course of this game. Now, Prashant, switching our attention to a very important topic. I'm sure you must have heard about this All Star 11. Premier League All Star 11 versus La Liga All Star 11 versus Bundesliga All Star. Your first thoughts when you read about that? What did it come to your mind? Do you think it's a good idea, or again, American-minded, sports?
Yeah, that's just the word that I was which came to my mind, like Americanization of the Premier League, and it felt very. I mean, it's not needed. We already have things like the Champions League. We have things like the two Champions League, who are pretty much all stars anyway. So, Real Madrid, Barca, they're all all-star teams anyway. So, uh, I don't think a match like that makes sense to me. I don't really think it should happen, but if the powers that be have their way, it might just end up happening. That's all I can say. I would be, disappointed to hear of it. It's not really going to mean anything. Just another match for the players to play. It's also going to congest the schedule and everything. Kind of useless.
Yeah, even I don't agree with this. De Bruyne will turn McTominay to Mac Happy Meal. We'll see. We'll see that on Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, PSG is an all-star team anyway. बट पीएसजी की तो बात ही
Exactly.
मत करो तुम भाई वो एक तो मतलब इतने हिपोक्रेट है उनका वो क्या नाम है उसका खलीफी he is trying he was saying that other day what Barcelona का uh, something was talking how my Barcelona can manage to get all this under financial fair पे भाई तुम अपनी चिंता करो तुमने जो डील्स किए ये रिकॉर्ड ब्रेकिंग डील्स वो कहाँ से तुमने पैसे लाए फाइनेंशियल फेयर तुम्हारे लिए ये नहीं होता क्या तो भाई पीएचडी की तो बात ना करे वही अच्छा है और टॉकिंग अबाउट दी ऑल स्टार टीम आई डोंट agree to it. I don't think it's all that effective, and it's another way of making Super League. So yes, absolutely. I think it will be a disaster, a money-making scheme, and like Prashant rightly said, we already have Champions League in place, and we don't need all these things. But again, with American-minded mindset, and where you have all-star leagues and teams playing together, which we as football fans don't like. We don't want American sports interfering in this brilliant game that we watch. And as fans, we want to see competitions like Champions League, Premier League become more interesting rather than the stupid things that you see every day because of American and ownership. And Khalifi wanted to buy Espanyol. Acha, Espanyol. Wow. He hates Barcelona,
Yes,
of
but
course. Espanyol and Barcelona have that rivalry. So I'm not sure how reliable is that, but if it's true, then yeah, maybe that's why he hates Barca.
they wanted to buy
And
Man United too, by the way.
who? Khalifi?
Yeah, the Qatari owner.
I mean, who wouldn't want to buy Man United? If, the day Man
Yeah.
United is officially
No,
put
they
on
were.
sale, you will see so
Mhm.
many bidders and buyers.
No, they were Qatar, the Qatar Investment Authority were officially interested in buying United and the Glazers refused. This was in 2010, 11, 2011 or 12, whenever, right before the PSG takeover happened. You can refer to it. It was an official thing. It's not even a rumor.
No, good. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm happy that didn't happen. I think they are worse than Glazers. But again,
Oh, come on. They would have at least spent, I mean,
but
maybe they would
Prashant,
have
it's not about
overspent wrongly.
spending. Prashant, it's not about
I
spending. It's
know.
having a football
But
structure. At a club where
I
they
know.
give a player
But
like Mbappe such a more power than the manager and the president of the club. How can that's what I don't like about the Qataris and the way they've run that club. Mbappe is having so much power. I'm going to talk about Mbappe a little bit late, but yeah, I don't think it would have been much better than the situation we are in right now. Your
no,
thoughts,
I
of course.
think it would. I mean, I think it would have been a little better than what we are in right now. We would have been maybe we won't have been winning the title every season, but we would have definitely been still a Champions League club. We won't have missed out on players like we have missed out on. Like maybe like for example Haaland. We had a chance to sign him such a long time ago. We didn't. There was Haaland, Schneider, all these stupid transfer rumors that we have every season, right? Like Gakpo this season, even Anthony. These things wouldn't have happened because PSG would have been open to paying anything. The Glazers are just struggling to, they are just not even open to paying the right amount at the
Hmm.
right time. They
Correct.
hesitate when the time is, I mean, when there is a chance to pay, but then they overpay for the same person. That is not something which PSG are doing.
Yeah.
They want someone, they just go and get him. Simple.
Mm.
That's all they do. So
Yeah,
United would
and
have been a
another
different.
correct. Another good thing that they don't themselves run the football club. They don't have someone like
Yeah,
Ed Woodward. They have footballing
yeah,
people. They've got
yeah.
they earlier had Leonardo, and now they have another footballing technical director
Those campers.
who runs the
Yeah,
correct Campos, who knows about football. The footballing people run the footballing side, and the business people
yeah.
run the business side. So that is actually good thing. But there are a lot of things at PSG which I don't like. The way they give players that empowerment. First Neymar, now Mbappe. So the player bigger than club. I have never liked that kind of mentality, and I never agree to that. So that's why I think the Qatari takeover. Maybe we would have won few trophies, but then again our situation would have been worse in other way. Not this same way. In other way, we would have been bad. I don't know
Bad.
why PSG thinks it has a rivalry with Barcelona. भाई अपनी अपनी सोच
Uh,
है उनको लगता है उनका राइवलरी फ्रेंच लीग में तो किससे राइवलरी कर नहीं सकते क्योंकि
uh,
इतने बड़े बड़े प्लेयर लेते हैं तो करे किससे राइवलरी तो बार्सिलोना है फिर मैनचेस्टर
Actually,
सिटी है.
उसमें there is a bit of history in that.
हम्म,
If I may elaborate. So let me say,
हम्म,
obviously, you being a Barca fan, you would remember uh, I believe it is called the Ramon Taga. I think that is what it is called, the famous match where PSG lost to Barca despite winning the first leg 4-0, right? They
हम्म,
won the first leg 4-0 and then at Camp Nou they lost 6-1. So they
हम्म,
eventually got knocked out. And that match was, I mean, in that match, Neymar was very critical at the end, and they ended up. He was the one who created and scored towards the end and
yeah,
knocked
I
PSG
remember.
out. So,
Hmm.
right, exactly. So that was where PSG kind of were like, okay, that's Barca, that is the standard we have to match, and they are the club leader. That's first thing. Second thing is, from that point onwards, they uh, Suarez driving still hurts him. Yeah, it does. So from that point onwards, they kind of had a model to disrupt the market. Basically, there is a very good video by this channel called the Athletic Interest about PSG, how PSG are run. So they basically in everything they are doing, they are kind of disrupting the market. Even they were one of the only teams. They were the only team who recently had a special kit just for the Champions League, right? About
Hmm.
2 seasons ago, when they had a black jersey which was with
Correct.
Jordan. So they're doing things in a very different way over there, and trying to disrupt the market. So signing Neymar was one of the ways to disrupt the market, because after that, everything else has inflated. So all the other normal clubs, apart from City, are playing catch up. So financially, sooner or later, they will not be able to compete with them. That's the mindset there. And there were some political reasons behind that as well, but I won't get into that right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, what pisses me more off is the way Kylian Mbappe is behaving. Another player, he thinks he's bigger than the club, and a lot has to be blamed for PSG the way they signed the contract. They went out of way, they gave him that kind of money. And I'm sure, from what we heard, that he will have the power to run the club. He will decide on the salaries and the transfer activities of PSG. So that kind of power it's just too much. And other player, if you look at what he and you compare him with Erling Haaland, I think Erling Haaland is miles ahead of him. The guy is focused on football. All that matters to him is scoring goals, getting his team to win, not all the stupid stuff of being a captain or deciding the team or all that. He's
Yeah,
gone to City. He wants to score goals in the Premier League for 2, 3 years and then go to Spanish. He knows what he has to do to get it, and he's very focused. He doesn't come out and do all the stupid stuff. And that's why, if you ask me Erling Haaland versus Mbappe, I always say Erling Haaland because it's not just about a talent, it's his attitude as well. He knows what he wants to do. He's focused on, remember back 6 months back or a year back, when Erling Haaland was linked to a lot of clubs and, he could have easily come out and said, I would like to join Madrid, I would like to join Barcelona, I would go to PSG one day. But he kept his mouth shut, let his agents do the, you know, talking, and he was always focused on football. Once he was asked, if he could have gone to Chelsea for that kind of money, 100 million, his answer was, that's too much money. I don't focus on that. I don't want all that attention. I want to play football, and that's what the attitude should be. Kylian Mbappe is on a different level. His thinking is that he is going to run PSG for the next 2 years before he makes his move to Real Madrid, and that's what will bring the demise of PSG. They've got fantastic technical director. They've got a brilliant manager. Everything is good at that club right now, except for Kylian Mbappe's behavior and attitude. The way Neymar has been treated, I think that is very bad. And they very soon they've got to fix this problem that they have at the club. Otherwise, they will not win the Champions League again this season. Barca still owes 25 million for Coutinho. Government of India clears payment faster than Barcelona.
yeah,
Barcelona.
that does.
Though I
Lakshmi Chit Fund.
last last but not the last topic, but very good discussion. I want to speak about Erik Ten Hag, Premier League Manager of the Month, and Marcus Rashford, Premier League Player of the Month. How do you feel about that, Prashant? After a long time, people at
Yeah,
Man United winning something. Not just a trophies, not trophies, but yes, at least Premier League Manager of the Month and Player of the Month. How do you feel about that? Is it I'm not going to ask you does it deserve it because we all know he did. He does deserve it. 4 wins back to back, and the way he's managed that United squad after that 2 games loss. But how do you feel as a United fan?
it's good. It is. I mean, obviously, being a United fan, we are now our expectations and everything has sombered down. Everything has mellowed down over the years. So uh, it's good that they are both getting the recognition. It will be good for Rashford's confidence. It will shut up a lot of critics that were, running after Ten Hag. Like, this is Ten Hag's fault. Oh yeah, it's Ten Hag's fault. No, it's not. He is a good manager, and eventually it will just prove, and that is coming out here. So, credit to him. The way he has worked. Like I remember reading the news that um, the day after we lost to Brighton, I believe, not Brighton, Brentford, right?
Brentford, yeah. Hmm.
Brentford, right? So the day after we lost to Brentford, Ten Hag found out that okay, they outran us by 1.3 kilometers. So he made sure that every player ran 1.3 kilometers. He made them run that distance, and he ran along with them. That was like such a beautiful thing, right? He also ran along with them. It's not that he was just like standing there and watching. He ran along with them. That's like amazing. Like what an example to set, right? Leading by example, quite literally. So that is something which we haven't had at United, which is great. Uh, uh, Ignoring the ownership situation, I think it is great that we have such a good manager, and hopefully even for Rashford, he starts getting better and returns to his old self.
Yeah. MC says Martin is the
Martinez, the
real
real
player of the
player of
month.
the month. Oh yes,
Yeah, he's
for
been
me,
brilliant,
yeah,
fantastic. Yeah.
yeah,
For me, I think the player of the month is Christian Eriksen, unsung hero. The way he scans the pitch, the way he looks for passes, what things that he's done, you know, I think it's literally an upgrade on Pogba. It's literally
yeah,
because Pogba was
a
fantastic.
huge upgrade.
With the things that he could do on the pitch was brilliant. But then consistency was the key. He didn't have any consistency plus injuries. Eriksen is a huge upgrade. What he's achieved,
And the
the
things
way he
Pogba
plays.
would do off the pitch, they were a huge distraction. He was basically Pogba was like a downgraded Mbappe, you can say. Yes, he was our Mbappe. He was United version of Mbappe. You can say that, right? So yeah, it's good that he is not there. And Ericsson obviously is so good that he is back. From all that he has suffered, and even so just the fact that he's still doing so well is amazing.
Yeah, and for me, he's been so far the best United player along with Lisandro Martinez. It doesn't sound right to point out that one player is the best player. Look at Diego Dallo, brilliant. Rafael Varane, the way he's organized that defense, leading from the front. And I think if you look at the leadership skills, I think better than Bruno Fernandes, Rafael Varane has been leading from the front. At the he's organizing the back, coordinating with the defenders. Those defenders are talking amongst themselves. They are understanding each other. They're speaking to the goalkeeper, and that understanding is helping them a lot. Diego Dallo has been brilliant. So has been Taral Malaysia. Taral Malaysia is literally a young boy coming into the squad putting Luke Shaw on the bench. So, the amount of expectation that he's had offensively as well as defensively has been brilliant. And again, Diego Dallo, what a huge improvement he's had. He was not even considered as a backup under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, was sent on loan to AC Milan where he had a pretty decent season. But then under Ralph Ragnick, he started consistently ahead of Alan van Bissaka.
Yeah,
And then again, under Eric Ten Hag made it clear that Diego Dallo is his first choice right back and the confidence
yeah,
that Dallo has shown been brilliant. In the international break, he did score two
uh,
goals. And
yeah. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer used to play him on the right wing. I remember
yeah,
he used
at
to
times
play
he
him
used to
as
play
a
on the
right.
right wing.
Yeah, he didn't play him as a defender because he was defensively not that great according to him. So I'm glad that he is also living up to his potential. I actually
Yeah,
think I like Luke Shaw, to be honest. I like him.
even I
Uh,
like Luke Shaw a lot. Yeah,
yeah.
brilliant player.
So
But yeah,
exactly. So I hope that the fact that Malaysia is there, it forces him to step up his game as well, and eventually he also starts to perform. So we should have healthy competition between the two of them.
absolutely. And last I just said that this is the last topic, but yes, missed out on something which I want to speak earlier. And that is Harry Maguire is out for the game against Man City, ruled out due to injury.
Huge
But
blow to
over
Manchester
the
City.
huh? What? Sorry?
Huge blow to Man City.
See, we have all the fun, we can keep the trolls and do all the stuff. What upsetting is the things that he said during the international break. Put his camp put out through Mark Ogden that he's been poor because the goalkeeper doesn't speak English, goalkeeper doesn't coordinate. The excuse that came out during international break were pathetic. Rather than owning up to the mistakes, Luke Shaw also came out and said, and he owned up his mistakes. And he said that he will fight for the place. But Harry Maguire on the side, said that people forget that I didn't start the first game of the Euro, but yet I was in the Euro team of the tournament. Team of the tournament. I mean, why are you living in the past, man? The things that you've done this season as a captain who you haven't led from the front. Forget about all that. Your basic job of defending, you're not good at that. You're having a poor time, your confidence is down, keep your mouth shut and just play the game. Why not only he leaked stuff through Mark Ogden stating that, he was former score because of David Dare. David Dare is the goalkeeper right now, and we've Martinez and Baran. They're still doing fantastic. So, your thoughts on Maguire's words and the things that came out? How do you feel as a United fan? Do you feel that this is just another? Was he one of the leaks last season, or do you think that he's just trying to put his case in through the media that he's not responsible for United's misery and he's just been scapegoated? So, what are your thoughts on this?
Uh, well, I don't know if you remember last season, not last season, but
Prashant,
like a few
sorry to
months
cut you
ago.
off. I
So,
just wanted to read Amsh's
uh,
comment. Gerard,
yes,
the real manager of
Gerard, the
the
real
of the
manager of the
month
month.
for escaping the sack for second month. Yeah, that's a good one actually.
Absolutely,
Steven Gerrard.
absolutely.
Van de Beek is not anxious. He believes CR37 will accompany on the bench again once Rashford returns. We'll see about that. We'll see.
Yeah,
Sunday's game will be very important for Cristiano. Yes, Prashant. Coming back to our topic on Harry Maguire. Go on.
yeah. So, there was this match, I think around the Euros. I think maybe a little bit after the Euros or before that. There was one match against one of the smaller international teams where Harry Maguire scored and he celebrated like this.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
I remember. Roy Keane was pissed off. Boy, Roy Keane
yeah,
was so
exactly,
pissed off. Yeah, I remember
exactly.
that. Yeah.
So basically, he's now coming across as someone who is brash and arrogant and too uh, what's the word, too self-obsessed, like one of those teenagers on social media these days. Like, yeah, he thinks that he's the best. It actually reminds me of I'll take the liberty to quote Ramadher Singh from Gang of Wasseypur, yeah. कि जब
बोलो बोलो
तक
बोलो.
हाँ हिंदुस्तान में सिनेमा है लोग बनते रहेंगे,
Hmm.
लोग बीट बनते रहेंगे एंड हर किसी के दिमाग में अब एक फिल्म चल रही है, उसके हीरो वो खुद है. दिस इज द थिंग विद हैरी मैग्वायर, यू नो
जब तक सोशल मीडिया है
बेसिक.
तो फैंस
हाँ,
ये बनते
बनते
रहेंगे.
रहेंगे. हाँ,
जब
एग्जैक्टली.
तक पीआर है,
एग्जैक्ट.
पीआर जिंदा है,
हाँ,
फैंस बनते रहेंगे.
बनते रहेंगे,
हर किसी
एग्जैक्टली.
उसके स्टोरी में हैरी मैग्वायर हीरो है
हीरो है,
और डेविड है
एग्जैक्टली.
विलन है. देखिए
विलन
डेविड
है,
देगा विलन
राइट.
है.
हाँ, एग्जैक्टली. और नहीं तो क्या. So that is what this comment reminds me of, because see, to be honest, I was okay with him back then. I was not like pissed off at him. I'm like, yeah, okay, he's going through a lot, so maybe he felt good scoring that goal. But okay, for once we can forgive him. But then if he has made this statement, either he has very wrong people around him, the people in his camp, in his PR camp are, they need to be replaced. And if he is actually he himself who has said this, then that's very bad because it's not helping him. It's not helping his case. For a sportsman, it's always, we being Indians, we have always heard what Sachin used to say, right? And apparently that is something which even Messi has always said, that Sachin would say that, I do my back, let my back do the talking. Messi is known to have said that I let my football do the talking, right? That is what players should ideally do. That is, or at least that is the older generation. I don't know about the newer ones, right? So these guys, they are involving too much into social media banter and everything, and not really focusing on what's happening on the pitch. Just improve your game, stick to the basics. That's what a normal person would do. These are not things he is supposed to get himself into. Yeah, he will get, unfortunately, he will be trolled on social media. He will, but he has to put up with it. He can't simply ignore a huge amount of it. Not everything is ignorable. I understand that, but he can ignore a good part of it and then just improve his game. Once his uh, game improves, he can,
Easy. I
answer.
make my sister do the talking. He's talking about Ronaldo.
Ah, but well, his football will talk eventually. So no worries.
Yeah,
You know.
and I think Harry Maguire will get a chance because we've known that there will be suspensions, there will be injuries. Rafael Varane's injury record is not all that good, so he will get a chance. I don't think there's all this necessary to come out and talk all that about it in public. He has the advantage Harry Maguire has. He has a brilliant coach at Man United. Solskjaer was not a
Mm.
coach; he was more of a man manager. But Erik Ten Hag is a proper coach, and if Harry Maguire wants to improve his game, he has an opportunity. He will get an opportunity when one of the players will get injured or suspended, and that's where he has to prove to everyone, not just the coach, to Man United fans, to the teams that he deserves a place in this team. I'm not saying Harry Maguire is a bad player. Yes, he has his weaknesses, but he has his strength as well. At times, he can read the game brilliantly as a defender. He's got his height. He can head the ball. So there's a lot of attributes that he has that other defenders don't have. Yes, the disadvantage that he has is not all that quick. There's no pace with him. But we've seen in the past there are defenders who aren't all that quick enough, but with their reading of the game, they understand the game really well, and that's how they become the top defenders. So he can do that as well. He will definitely get an opportunity. I strongly believe that. But rather than going out in media or spreading news to your PR stuff about all these things. It's better to keep quiet when things are not going good at your side. Keep quiet and prove to the world when you get a chance by playing well on the pitch rather than talking on social media. That's what my opinion is, and I think it's not just my opinion. People, everyone of our fan base, including Prashant, we all believe that. And he's a brilliant player. He's a very good player. Man United paid 85 million for him. It's not just because he was any random defender. Even Pep Guardiola wanted him at Man City. So there is something good about him. We've seen in the season where United came second, he was pretty good, pretty decent. He's been fantastic for England. And, I want to go on and say good things about him, but the last few weeks have been very disappointing. And all I can say is he will get an opportunity. One of the defenders gets injured or suspended, and that's when he has to keep his mouth shut, show his skills on the pitch, and then talk about his game. Right now, especially keep his mouth shut. MJ says ability of Dinda Academy, ego of Glenn McGrath, scamming Maguire. Uh,
Ah.
so, so
Yeah,
guys,
there is actually a proper
yeah,
academy with Harry Maguire's name. It's called MJ. If you can search, look it up on Facebook. It's called Harry Maguire's Academy
art of
of
defending,
Fine Defending.
fine
Uh,
defending. Yeah,
yeah,
Harry
yeah,
Maguire
fine
Academy
defending.
of fine defending.
Yes. So you can look that up, MJ. You will know a lot more. Yes. Yeah, Divya, you were saying something.
That's it, guys. From mine, and that's all for today. Prashant, do you want to add up anything? Anything that you want to speak about football that we missed out in past 2 weeks? You think that we should talk about? Go on. Stage is yours.
Uh, no, I just miss football. I think international football is not the same. At least, the Nations League and everything is not as fun to watch. So,
It's worse than the friendly. Nations League. It's worse than the friendly. I just hate it.
yeah, but England
Unnecessary
got relegated
international
in
pro.
that.
हाँ sorry क्या
Even
बोल
in
रहे हैं?
that, England got relegated. उसमें भी इंग्लैंड
इंग्लैंड की तो
relegate हो
बात मत
गया.
करो इंग्लैंड की तो बात ही मत करो they have a manager who is worse than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Who
What do you
wasn't?
say?
Now I'll tell you one thing here. If Steven Gerrard managed England, they would do better than Gareth Southgate. Gareth Southgate has no idea what he's doing. He thinks, he plays Kyle Walker as centre back, and he says Trent Alexander-Arnold is not a good defender. He doesn't play him. If you're playing with a back three and then you have a wing back, why are you not playing Alexander-Arnold? Alexander-Arnold defending is not good, but if you're playing as a proper wing back, two wing backs, I think Trent is the best one to play in that position. You got three centre backs covering, and then you got a wing back who will be given freedom. I think Trent Alexander-Arnold is the best man to play in that position. Reece James is good, but Trent is on another level, and I'm not sure what he keeps on experimenting. He plays Reece James on the left hand side, and Luke Shaw as a left wing back. Where Ben Chilwell could do a lot better than Luke Shaw. So I think his squad selection is pretty surprising. At times you see
It's
Phil
perfect.
Foden start ahead of players like Raheem Sterling or someone. They've got such fantastic players in Bukayo Saka and Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho doesn't even get chance. Foden is good. I am not saying Foden is bad, but then you got two similar players playing in the wing. You got to have players who have different mentality, different attributes, and apart from the selection of Jude Bellingham, Declan Rice, his entire team selection is abysmal, pathetic. To start Harry Maguire ahead of Tomori and some good centre backs England has. So yeah, that's all I have today from my end. Prashant, thank you very much for coming on the show, guys. Do make sure to smash like on the video, and if you have missed the live stream, let us know in the comment section what you feel about the return of Premier League, London Derby, Manchester Derby, the Kylian Mbappe situation at PSG, and of course, the Harry Maguire comments during the international break. We'll be excited to know your opinion, your views. I'll definitely reply to your comment section, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel bottom right hand corner. It's absolutely free of cost. You don't get chance to subscribe. Make sure to subscribe to our channel, guys. We will see you in when Prashant? Wednesday? I
Next
think Wednesday is a
Wednesday?
good time. Yes, so we'll do a
Yeah.
review of the Premier League games. So and then from next week onwards, we may go live and do a watch along as well. But for this weekend, we won't do the watch along. We will enjoy the games and then we will do a review either on Tuesday or Wednesday. And thank you guys once again, Prashant. Thank you, and all of you have a very good night. See you during the midweek. Bye for now.
Bye everyone.